Monopoly, the iconic board game about wheeling and dealing in real estate that's delighted families for generations. But what is its history? Let's explore the surprising origins and fascinating backstory of this classic game. Radical roots. Our story begins in 1903 with writer and game designer Lizzie McGee, who created the precursor to Monopoly. McGee was fascinated by the progressive economic theories of Henry George, who believed land should be publicly owned, not exploited by landlords. To demonstrate these radical ideas, McGee invented the landlord's game. Players bought properties, built houses, and charged rent to bankrupt opponents, but McGee's game was intended to illustrate the evils of unchecked capitalism. She even created two sets of rules, one representing greed, the other introducing a tax on landowners funding public goods. Her game spread through intellectual circles who appreciated its political message. Of course, most players ignored the lesson, enjoying the fun of bankrupting friends. Little did McGee know her invention would evolve into the beloved game we know so well. The Landlord's game was quietly circulating in folksy homemade versions across the country by the early 1900s. Localized by Quakers. A major innovation came from Quakers in Atlantic City. This group localized the game by naming properties after neighborhood streets and landmarks. It was this familiar Atlantic City version that landed on the lap of Charles Darrow, an unemployed heater salesman in the 1930s. The Quakers had ingeniously tailored the game to their town, making it more appealing and relatable. Darrow's Monopoly. Sensing opportunity, Darrow copied the Atlantic City version of the game. He gave it a slick makeover with new art and materials, dubbing it Monopoly. Darrow handmade sets to sell locally, and it became a breakout success. He soon struck a deal with Parker Brothers to mass-produce Monopoly sets, making Darrow a millionaire celebrity overnight as the supposed inventor. Of course, Parker Brothers eventually learned that Darrow's game was created by someone else first. But Monopoly was making them tons of money, so they covered up the real history and downplayed McGee's vital contribution. Truth revealed. For decades, Darrow was credited as sole inventor. The real history emerged in the 1970s thanks to Professor Ralph Anspach. Anspach created a game critiquing monopolies called Anti-Monopoly. Parker Brothers sued him for trademark infringement, kicking off a decade-long legal battle over Monopoly's origins. Through extensive research, Anspach rediscovered McGee's critical role in inventing the game's core mechanics. Though the fight nearly bankrupted him, Anspach prevailed in exposing the truth about Monopoly's creation. Legacy. Today, Monopoly remains popular in endless variations, but its actual roots are all but forgotten. McGee's game spread progressive ideas playfully, yet ironic capitalist adaptation caused it to stray from her intent. Examining Monopoly's history reveals bigger truths about capitalism and human nature. Games reflect their time's values. As players, we can absorb these messages or engage with them. So consider house rules that recenter Monopoly's original spirit, like a tax supporting public welfare. The game takes on a whole new meaning. Monopoly's fascinating evolution shows how entertainment shapes and reflects society. Remembering innovators like McGee inspires purposeful fun. Her clever design spread economic critique through memorable experiences. Next time you wheel and deal in Monopoly, recall the woman who made it possible. And think about what today's games teach us about confronting real-world problems. Monopoly's story is a reminder to approach play thoughtfully. Now you know the surprising history behind one of the world's most iconic board games. Pass go, collect $200, and recall Monopoly's radical roots.